understanding what happened in our beautiful body that Mother Nature gave to us by rent. It's not our property, by rent, so respect it. This is a medicine that respects the physiology. It's not a pharmacology that attack the physiology. Sometimes we need to attack, but 90% of time, no. Interesting, super interesting. Inflam-Aging. Look that interleukin 6 is the cause of inflammaging. I like this slide because you can see that during youth we are here and we don't have high level of inflammation, high level of intoxication. I suggest that the best anti-aging therapy is GUNA matrix, 20 drops twice a day, GUNA interleukin 10, 20 drops twice a day. The best way of administration, 40 drops twice a day, each in a bottle of water to drink during the day. How long? 2-3 months, yes. 1-2 months, no. 2-3 months, yes, and so on. High level of intoxication, high level of oxidation, unfortunately, hormonal decline. Why I think that is absolutely crucial, GUNA matrix? Not only because it works on high level of intoxication, but also because having the dehydroepiandrosterone as precursor of steroid hormones, hey, come on steroid hormones it works very well. Immune decline and metabolic decline. Look at these slides, it scares me. Prevalence of obesity by age from blue 1991, light blue 2001. Unfortunately, I don't have more recent data. And you can see the prevalence of obesity per age. This is the most dangerous. Why? Because this is what an adipocyte contains. No words. Look. TNF-alpha, interleukin C, CRP, leptin. Unfortunately, little quantity of adiponectin. I mean, the adipocyte, hypertrophic adipocyte, is a warehouse of pro-inflammatory substances. Now we understand why prevalence of obesity is linked with cardiovascular diseases, but the matrix is inflammation. So we can act so well. Okay, this is what it scared me so much. This is the expression of interleukin 6 according to the age. Look, until 50 years old, almost we don't have interleukin 6. After, boom, and we die because of chronic, low-grade chronic inflammatory processes due to high level of interleukin 6. Which is the problem? In green is the physiological lifespan. Before or later we have to die. But if you are obese, you have osteoarthritis and so on, so you produce more and with anticipation interleukin 6, your lifespan goes towards left. Please take under control interleukin 6. In your practice, 70% of diseases are due to low-grade chronic inflammation. This is GUNA interleukin 10, really the only drugs, both in conventional and in low-dose pharmacology, able to control interleukin 6. Okay? And you have interleukin 10 also in this medication named GUNA-FLAM, that is a medication very specific. I mean, you can use GUNA-Flam, where is both in acute and chronic inflammation, because it contains interleukin 10 to downregulate interleukin 6, but also anti-interleukin 1. That is important in the first phases of it. So you can act in a more specific way with GUNA-Flam, both in acute and chronic, or you can work precisely with the single anti-interleukin 1 or interleukin 10. Okay, I skip this. This is interesting, about the side effects of Nsaids. Everybody knows side effects on cardiovascular system, but this is Journal of Applied Physiology 2011. Using Nsaids, you don't allow the fibroblast after an injury in a ligament to restore the ligament, producing new collagen. Here is in the placebo group, not treated with Nsaids. And you can see that both with rest or with eccentric exercise, you start producing collagen. If you use Nsaids for more than 48 hours, you don't allow the fibroblast to produce collagen. That means to repair the tendon. Unfortunately, in conventional pharmacology, we don't have any drug for the treatment of chronic inflammation. We use chronically Nsaids, sometimes also corticosteroids. So this is really something new, a new proposal, GUNA-Flam or interleukin 10, or both also. Okay, you know very well when we enter with interleukin 10, and these are all the references about the use of interleukin 10 in management of chronic inflammatory disease. Does a medicine based on interleukin 10 exist in the world? I'm very proud, yes. GUNA interleukin 10, and these are directions and administrations. You can see that for interleukin 10, the only way is 20 drops twice a day, even for a long time. You remember that for GUNA anti-interleukin 1 was 10 drops every 30 minutes in the first 2 hours. Yeah, not in this case, because unfortunately interleukin 6 is still there. This is a paper from Journal of Integrative Cardiology about application of interleukin 10 in low-dose medicine as new paradigm. Journal of Integrative Cardiology, so they are treating the stable coronaropathy with interleukin 10. Please, not avoiding the conventional therapy, not at all, absolutely. And what to do in autoimmune diseases? In autoimmune diseases, and I think that in 10 minutes we have a break, no? Right? Oh, no break? Ah, okay, no problem. I am under dopamine, so. Under dopamine, not cocaine, because sometimes friends during saying.
It's okay.
What?
Are you tired?
No. Maybe. Are you tired? Do you want a 5 minutes break? Yeah?
Yeah. 10 minutes.
Oh, so I finished this part, really 5 minutes, so we finish the exam of the single cytokines and the medications, and then after the break I would like to share with you some protocols in Crohn's, in vitiligo, in psoriasis, osteoarthritis, but you will answer me which will be the therapy, because now you have the tools to answer. Okay, last but not least, which are the interleukins involved in autoimmune diseases? They are mainly two. interleukin 17 and TNF-alpha. For instance, in Crohn's disease and rheumatoid arthritis, TNF-alpha is the big bastard. Interleukin 17 is produced by Th17, and they have been discovered quite recently, in 2007, by Bettelli et al. And they describe for the first time in current opinion in immunology. They are overexpressed. You have always to think in terms of balance. Okay. Th17 are overexpressed because these patients have a deficiency in Th2 activity. That means that they don't produce enough interleukin 4. So we can say that the antagonistic cytokine able to block interleukin 17 trigger of autoimmune diseases, it's interleukin 4. So it's important in those type of patients, diabetes type 1, Crohn's, rheumatoid arthritis, always to think in terms of interleukin 4. Look, interleukin 4 downregulates both Th1 and Th17. This is exactly the study of Bettelli that described for the first time Th17 in 2007. Which is the medication able to control this overexpression? GUNA interleukin 4. Direction and administrations, 20 drops, twice a day, for a long time. Don't be worried because you don't have any possibility of overdosage. So 3, 4, 6 months consecutively according to the severity of the case. Okay, always the same. The last single cytokine is Tgf-Beta. I recommend you this medication when you want to act on the resolution phase and restitutio ad integrum of the injured tissue. I mean, in other terms, when you have difficulty in cicatrization on a tissue, when you have ulcers, for instance, diabetic ulcers, Tgf-Beta stimulate the granulation tissue. Okay, so is the last phase of the physiological process of inflammation, restitutio ad integrum. Interesting, but also, and I look at you, Tgf-Beta is the cytokine able to downregulate both Th1 and Th2. So, if in your practice come to you a patient with allergic asthma, typical Th2 disease, and psoriasis, typical Th1 disease, what do we have to do? If he has both Th1 and Th2 disease, it means that he doesn't have a good control operated by Treg. Treg are the T lymphocytes involved in immune tolerance. How do they downregulate Th2 and Th1? Exactly through Tgf-Beta. Tgf-Beta. So, when you have this type of patients, you start for 2-3 months with GUNA Tgf-Beta, and then you start treating the most severe disease. I mean, rheumatoid arthritis and asthma, you start treating rheumatoid arthritis. But when you want to put down the exuberance of the immune system, Tgf-Beta. Very well. Pain control, GUNA beta endorphin. Very interesting molecule. It is an opioid. The precursor is propiomelaanocortin. And why it's so effective, GUNA beta endorphin? Because it works both on the peripheral nervous system and on the central nervous system. On the peripheral nervous system, blocking the release of the substance P. On the central nervous system, look, it blocks the GABA release, increasing dopamine. Dopamine, arousal, desire, but it's also the molecule that makes us able to overtake a difficulty. So this is the double activity of beta endorphin. Patient with toothache, headache, but also patient with fibromyalgia together with interleukin 10. Every time you have a pain manifestation, think of GUNA beta endorphin. Okay, this is the directions. They are always the same. In acute, 10 drops every 30 minutes for 2-3 hours. In chronic pain management, 20 drops twice a day. You can start always with the frequent administration of 10 drops every 30 minutes for 2-3 hours, and in chronic pain management you continue with 20 drops twice a day. Okay, so let me see. Okay, this is to wrap up. GUNA anti-interleukin 1, acute inflammation. GUNA interleukin 10, chronic inflammation. GUNA interleukin 4, control of autoimmune diseases triggered. GUNA Tgf-Beta, restitutio ad integrum of the injured tissue. GUNA beta endorphin, pain control. With this battery of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medications, you can make a great job. If you don't want, I give you two possibilities. If you don't want to work with the single cytokines, there is a medication that in low-dose medicine is our North Star, and it's called GUNA Flam. Why is so amazing and why is it so endable? Because look at the composition. Anti-interleukin 1, interleukin 10, Tgf-Beta. You are working in the same moment on acute, chronic and restitutio ad integrum. But also for my friend homeopaths, aconitum, belladonna, ferrum phosphoricum, apis, phytolacca, all the different homeopathic remedies specific for all the different phases of inflammation. Since one of the signs of inflammation is dolor, in Latin pain, beta endorphin. And look how interesting it is by a neuroendocrine point of view, the presence of melatonin. Because melatonin is the neurohormone that slows down everything. When I'm speaking about inflammation, inflammation is expression of hyperreactivity. So by a neuroendocrine point of view, is melatonin slowing down everything. So if you don't remember the single anti-interleukin 1, interleukin 10, Tgf-Beta, don't forget GUNA Flam. It is the anti-inflammatory medication for all the different symptomatology. Administration, 10 drops every 30 minutes for 2-3 hours in acute. 20 drops twice a day for a long time in chronic inflammatory diseases. This way, believe me, you will be treating in a very physiological way all the different types of inflammatory diseases. They are really great medications, and you can reduce dramatically the use of Nsaids. That means also reduce the side effects of these medications. It's really, for me, it's a masterpiece. I mean, because it's so logical, absolutely so logical. You are working on all the science. Okay, so now we know what to do. We take a break, 5 minutes, and then we share some clinical protocols according to our preclinical and clinical trials. And we decide what to speak of. Okay? So, open session in 5 minutes. Yes.
Hi everybody, Anne-Marie again. I just want to say a little word, and because Alessandro declared his love for me earlier, and you're all witnesses, and then he spoke of dopamine and oxytocin. So I actually have a commitment, family commitment that I need to go to, and I wanted to express my thanks to you. Heartfelt thanks and appreciation on behalf of everyone. I know I'm early, you'll all be doing that later. I also very briefly wanted to put into context why I wanted to say thank you and hasta mañana, and I'll see you later, because just about a year ago, I'm a practitioner of neurolinguistics. So where I train people and in therapy work, it's to do with the mind-body connection. And in a year, in the space of a year, I was diagnosed with a serious condition, one of which was spoken about here. And I used the GUNA products, Matrix that he spoke of, GUNA Basic, several of the products that have been spoken about. And so I didn't use conventional Western medication. And at the previous seminar in Milan, I spoke with Dr. Ivano Ferri, his associate, who suggested a regime and also some blood tests, which were impossible for me to get in Ireland. No GP, no specialist, no hospital could do them. So I found a phlebotomist who did these blood tests, some of which had to be sent to Spain to get the results. And it is my absolute delight to report that on every single scale, with all the CD, 4, 8, 25, 65, they all came back baseline at the bottom of the prohibited the range. So I used the GUNA products very successfully. Have used them with other clients very successfully. Also, from me uniquely, was very important to go to the psychoneuro, the mind part of the condition, and to go to the root cause personally of the thoughts, my fascination with our thoughts affecting our immune system and our health. So using this combined approach of diet, of kind of soul searching, my own analysis and the GUNA products, I think any and every condition can be beautifully, safely and completely treated with these products. So I want to say thank you on behalf of everybody who's going to benefit from this in the future, and just complete confidence in the GUNA products and your research, education, protocols are just of the highest standards. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for these beautiful words. No,